Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to the Mr. Brown Show. Shout out to students from Fayetteville State University. Shout out to North Carolina Central University. Shout out to BroncoEyeRadio.com, where every second of the day an artist is live. BroncoRadio.com. We're proud to be. So what's going on, y'all? A little rainy out, huh? To say the least. Just to say the least. But anyway, so what's going on? I understand the news broke yesterday pertaining to New York City Mayor Eric Adams. I think Mayor Adams is very thankful for Hurricane Helene, because that's taken up the brunt of all the news, both local and international, on CNN, Fox, News Nation. That is the bulk of what's going on right now today. The effects of the hurricane that's coming through, and that's also stemming or creating tornadoes to go along with it. So I think Mayor Adams is pretty happy about Helene, because that's taking news off a lot of things. Also, Sean Puffy Combs, or Sean Combs, or Sean P. Diddy, or whatever you call him, he's in the courts these days. He's going through a criminal procedure. So maybe I think Mayor Adams is supposed to be has his court date today. I'm not sure. So if that's the case, Helene is really taking the brunt off the news of that. So everybody's talking about how horrific this hurricane is coming through Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and hidden parts of North Carolina. So he's happy. Anyway, what do you think about that? Someone I touched on this recently about how they're jumping on Sean Combs. And they were saying, the mayor's been doing this since, it's in his DNA. He's been doing crap like this probably when he was at Howard University. And they're saying, why are you jumping on him now? Why now? Well, did you know that he's also, I think, part owner or has some type of financial stake in Ciroc Vodka? I think he owns a good portion of it. And so he wound up suing Ciroc, saying, Ciroc's supposed to be paying him, I think, something in the neighborhood of $60 million a year. And I think something got under his skin, and he felt that he was being discriminated against, so he filed a lawsuit against Ciroc. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. And that's what he was doing in this case. And what happened was, they were saying, in turn, Ciroc knew all the crazy crap that he was doing, because Ciroc they basically didn't participate in any of these parties themselves, but they knew what he was doing, and they had evidence. And so they decided to go ahead and let the feds know what he was doing with some underage sex workers, and that he was transporting them across state lines, came under sex trafficking. So that's what they got him on. And they got a whole plethora of celebrities who participated, which means there's a whole lot of people shaking in their boots right about now. Because their names can come out, and there's a possibility they can be also charged for participating in an illegal operation. But anyway, that's why they say that's why P. Diddy is now going through what he's going through. It wasn't the lawsuit from the young lady that he dated for a number of years, and that he was on video beating her up at an elevator in a hotel. No, that wasn't because of that. No. She just wound up saying, hey, don't beat me up. That was part of a civil suit. And she won the civil suit. And now everything is coming against him because he decided to bite the hand that fed him. And along with that, like I said, a whole mess of people are now resigning their positions in their companies, or some of them are trying to leave the country because they may be affiliated with this. Now, going back to Mayor Adams. Mayor Adams, they've been investigating Eric Adams since 2016. I didn't know he was mayor that long. He wasn't. He was a police officer then. I think he's either a precinct mayor, or what do you call him, ward mayor or something like that. He wasn't with the police department at the time, but I believe he was in some phase of politics. He was in an area where he was in a position where he can render favors. Let's put it that way. And so they decided to come down on him. Now, is it the same thing as biting the hand that feeds you? He complained about to the federal government about he needed more help, he needed aid, he needed more resources because of all the immigrants that have basically been settled or dispatched to the city of New York, dropped in his lap, literally in his lap. And I think he was complaining about how the government wasn't doing what they were supposed to be doing. Yeah, in a sense, you know what? That's biting the hand that feeds you. So he got 5 indictments. One of them is for bribery. Another one is accepting gifts from a foreign nation. In this case, it was Turkey. So, what do you think about that? Both men are black, by the way. Did I mention that? Yeah. And so I'm just wondering. I'm just saying. What's going on with Kamala, the vice president Harris? What's going on with her campaign? What's she doing? What's Tim Walz doing? You haven't heard from him in a while. I think he's about to have a debate with J.D. Vance next Tuesday on CNN, I believe. That should be interesting. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about both individuals? I know you don't know them well. No one really does. I think for the most part, most people know of J.D. Vance because he has said some of the most absurd things within the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, he is truly a Trump trumpet. I say that again, trumpet. Not trumpet, trumpet. He's a pet of Trump. Trump is have him jump, have him lay down, have him bark, have him play dead, all that. That's what Trump can do. And that's what he's doing. Well, we got James Brown coming in the background. But you know what? You know, he's got a great, this is a song back in the 60s. And now actually it's mid 60s, no, late 60s. And so it's interesting. It's the title is in the song. But anyway, you hear that in the background. He just came through his voice, so I had to explain what voice was that coming through. But when you hear it, you remember it. If you're old school, you remember it way back when. Anyway, going back to talking about J.D. Vance being a Trump pet. You don't know much about Tim Walz. It'd be interesting to learn more about him. I mean, we know he was in the Army. He was a sergeant major. He was a high school teacher. He was a football coach, assistant football coach. What else? Anyway, so they're gonna have their debate next Tuesday. So I guess that would be somewhat interesting. I don't know if it's gonna draw a crowd or not, but we'll see. Has Kamala come across as being credible in the fact that she's presenting a policy, presenting a plan? I'm getting more from her commercials than I'm getting from her speaking in interviews. But anyway, it's the Mr. Brown Show. Did you get a chance to wake up this morning and thank God for waking you up this morning? Because a lot of people didn't get that opportunity. A lot of people missed that opportunity. And I mean, they missed it permanently. Give God the glory, give him the praise, give him the honor for waking you up this morning. Because he's got a plan for you. It's the Mr. Brown Show.